The respawn system is one of the most simple things in the Hunter Call of the Wild, but there's so many videos out there that overcomplicate the absolute crap out of it. Whether this is how diamonds spawn, what the animal you shot is going to come back as, how great ones spawn, etc. Are there any ways to alter this respawn system? There's so many different questions that people have that if you just understood the respawn system and how it worked, you wouldn't even have to ask those questions. It's a very, very simple system to understand, so as long as you guys stick around until the end of today's video, by the end of it, you guys will understand absolutely everything you need to know about the respawn system here in the Hunter Call of the Wild. But first, if you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Squid. I've been playing the Hunter Call of the Wild for about 8 years. I've been super interested in the respawn system and great one grinding and methods to get more diamonds and stuff for about the last 5 years, so I have quite a little bit of experience. Before we do dive in today, yoink that guy real quick. Jeez Louise. That probably didn't feel very good. Wow. Right in the brain. Before we do dive in today, I just want to let you guys know that my goal by the end of 2026 is 50,000 subscribers, so if you guys do in fact end up enjoying today's video, please let me know down below by smashing that like button and subscribing, as it is very, very much appreciated, and as a 16-year-old content creator trying to do this as a full-time job, it really does help support the channel. Join the Discord server for one-on-one help, and without further ado, my friends, wasting no more of your time, let's go ahead and jump into today's guide. Alright, my Frenchmen, so respawn basics. First and foremost, you have to understand that when you shoot and harvest a male, that male that you shot and harvest will respawn as another male of that specific species. So for example, the black bear that you guys just seen me shoot, it was a male black bear, therefore it's going to respawn as a male black bear. It will only respawn as a black bear, and it will only respawn as a male. If you were to shoot a female, let's use a female black bear for an example. This is a level 7 gold I just shot, but if this were to be a female black bear, that black bear would come back obviously as a black bear, and as a female. So males respawn as males, and females respawn as females. There is so much overcomplicated crap out there about wait 15 minutes. Close your entire game. It takes 30 minutes for animals to respawn. Just completely ignore all of that. Whoever told you that, never trust anything they told you again. It really is not that complicated. I shoot over 100 bear per hour. In fact, I've shot over 20,000 black bear in the last 7 months. And I would say 95% of the time, when I reset the time, I get pretty much instant respawns simply just by resetting the time. So waiting 15 minutes and just like all that crap out there, all you need to know is when you shoot an animal, for Pete's sake, it respawns. You don't need to worry about how long it takes to respawn. You don't need to really worry about where it respawns unless you're like doing herd management or something, which is all for another video. All you need to know for the basics of the respawn system in the Hunter Call of the Wild is when you shoot a male, it will respawn as a male, and when you shoot a female, it will respawn as a female. Now, you're probably wondering, when you shoot, for example, a level 1 white-tailed deer buck, will that white-tailed deer buck's respawn come back as another level 1 whitetail? And the answer to that is no, and this is really where we start to get into learning how trophies spawn and how trophies work, and how the population stays balanced and how trophies stay rare here in the Hunter Call of the Wild. When you shoot and harvest a level 1 whitetail, that whitetail deer buck that you shot and harvested can come back as any level whitetail deer buck. Yes, because of the fact that whitetail are a great one species, this actually includes great ones. It could come back as another level 1, it could come back as a level 2, it could come back as a level 3, which would probably be a diamond, depending on how that individual level 3 scores, or there's a very, very small chance that it can come back as a great one. Believe me, I've had it happen. I've spawned a great one in 2 kills. I shot 2 male gray wolves in my second great one gray wolf grind, and one of them came back as a great one. It was my shortest grind of all time. But as another example, I'm currently over 20,000 kills. 7 months worth of grinding into my current black bear grind that I'm doing as you're watching this video. And I still don't have my 5th great one black bear. It's been going on forever at this point, my friends. So my point being, if I were, for example, to shoot a mule deer, let's go with a level 2 mule deer buck. That mule deer buck that I shot and claimed can come back as any level buck. It will not come back as another level 2, it won't come back with the same estimate. Sometimes it will, but 90% of the time it's going to come back as another completely random level mule deer buck. And this goes for every single species in the game. If it's a species like gray fox that females have a lot of levels, like you can find a level 3 female, you can find a level 5 female, all the way up to an 8 mythical, and I believe technically for the gray fox, females can actually make diamond, I don't know, I've never seen one in my game personally, but I've seen some screenshots. And if they were legit, that means that shooting and claiming a female gray fox will obviously guarantee that it's going to come back as a random level female, but also including a 9 legendary that could potentially make diamond. Now obviously when you shoot and claim an animal, the chance of it coming back as a diamond is relatively low, and the chance of it coming back as a great one is unfathomably low, but I'm going to talk about how that chance is determined. All animals in this game spawn off of a system called RNG. If you've ever played a game like Five Nights at Freddy's, where the game entirely operates off of RNG, it's basically extremely basic AI. Your game simply just picks a number and it's a matter of what that number is. There is no way in bold letters, this is where there's thousands of people, even with tons of experience with this game, who've been playing it for years confused out there. There is no way to alter this number. It's a random number that your computer picks. It's just a matter of what that number is. There's so many people out there that think using methods like, herd management will increase your spawn rate of a great one. And the developers told us, many years ago, that great ones spawn off of a system called RNG. I think that certain grinds are just a lot easier than others. In grinds like the fallow deer, where you can shoot like 100 plus deer per hour, they literally might just have a little bit of a higher spawn rate with great ones. But then again, my longest fallow grind was 8,300 kills. But I've had a 40 kill grind for the fallow deer. I've had people have 2 kill grinds, 1 kill grinds, less than 1,000 kill grinds consistently. And the fallow deer are just kind of known for that. But then there's grinds like the bear grind that are also known for extremely long grinds. I was lucky enough to have 4 really short grinds for my black bear, my second ever great one black bear being 10 kills. 3 out of those 4 grinds were all sub 1,000 kills. And now look at me, I've been doing this individual grind for 7 months. It's crazy, man. It really is, and it's miserable. But it just shows you, this is what I'm trying to tell you, it just shows you how random the system of RNG works in Call of the Wild. It works just like any lottery machine. Just like any other game on the face of the earth that uses RNG. It is a random number that your computer generates, and there's no way to alter that number. So now we're going to talk about something that I like to call consistent respawns. If you've ever watched a Great One guide, if you've ever watched a herd management guide, you've probably heard us content creators say consistent respawns quite a bit and just kind of expect you to know what it is. That's something that I do differently. And my guide specifically is, I explain consistent respawns and I explain herd management in every single Great One guide that I make. At least all of my more recent ones, my older ones I might not have of, I don't remember. But what consistent respawns means is, for example, if I were to shoot this bull elk here, and you know what, I might as well. It's a decent level 4 up to 466. I'm going to shoot this elk real quick. And when I claim him, when he dies and I claim him, he will respawn somewhere completely random on the map. I'm currently here in Silver Ridge Peaks. I believe they can drink everywhere there's water, I don't remember. But that individual elk that I just shot, that bull right there, will respawn, again, as a completely random male. It's a male, so he'll respawn as a male. We just talked about all that here a second ago. He'll respawn somewhere completely random on my map. And the reason for that is because I do not have all of my drink zones discovered. If you don't know what a drink zone is, it's this little thing here. It just shows you that there's a herd of elk drinking here, and they drink at these locations from 4 until 8. There's hotspot maps in my Discord server that highlight every single individual lake that drink zones can potentially spawn in at for every species in every map in the game. And what happens when you actually discover, let's just say, the vast majority of your drink zones? For example, for elk, there's probably like 60 in Silver Ridge Peaks. If you were to discover like 45, 50 of them, you will begin to get consistent respawns. And what consistent respawns means is, again, we're going to use this bull that I shot over here as an example. That individual bull that I shot will respawn into that exact same drink zone, this one here that I shot him from. He will not respawn anywhere else on the map besides right where I shot him from. And this is very helpful for doing things like grinding, because I could come back to this location and shoot that bull's respawn over and over again until it respawns as a max level or a diamond, which for the Rocky Mountain elk would obviously be a level 5. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you only hunt one drink zone, because eventually you'll blow the zone, which is not what you want to happen. But if you do this between 8 different drink zones is usually what I recommend. Not just for Great One species, for any species in the game. If you discover all of your drink zones and rotate between 8 drink zones of your choosing, and just shoot the respawns, you'll be getting consistent respawns, and you'll be flushing males in and out of those zones so much that you will spawn a diamond, especially if you're doing it at several drink zones. You really don't even need to set up with tents and tripods. You just need to go to locations, Where you have drink zones that you like, this would be a very good one, and just shoot the males in it. Go to a couple other locations, reset the time to the next day at the beginning of their drink time, come back and shoot the respawns. As long as you have all your drink zones discovered, you should be getting consistent respawns. And now that you understand what consistent respawns are, this is where you step into the world of Great One grinding, and we abuse this system quite heavily sometimes, to the point where we can get 2-3 diamonds per time reset, or per rotation as we like to say. Which, in my opinion, it kind of ruins it. I don't like shooting a diamond every 5 seconds. And we're not going to get into herd management in this video. I have several herd management guides on my channel. I'd strongly suggest checking them out. But once you understand how the respawn system works, understanding things like herd management will start to become a lot easier. Because what herd management is like we just talked about, you shoot those zones of your choosing until eventually a diamond spawns. It's quite literally doing the opposite on every single lake on your map, which yes, is a massive task. And what I mean by the opposite is shooting down every single lake that you have drink zones at until they respawn as tiny animals. And when you spawn a tiny animal, you leave that tiny animal. And what that'll do is it'll force more big animals onto your map because your game senses there's so many small ones. Which is why the populations in Call of the Wild stay so balanced. There will always be slightly more small animals than big animals, and when you're forcing small animals onto your map simply by not shooting them, the game will force spawn bigger ones. And from that point, it's just a matter of finding where those big animals are and shooting the absolute crap out of them, and that's how we find so many diamonds. Now there's actually a way to choose where those big animals go to. There's a way to fill your map with small animals faster than, what you would think right now, which is just simply by jumping around and shooting. And those are all for detailed herd management guides. What I want you guys to understand right now is how far you can take the respawn system in Call of the Wild. It's truly insane what you can get out of this. It just depends on how much time you're willing to invest to it, but for the casual player, really all you need to understand is when you shoot a male, if you don't have all your drink zones discovered, it will come back as another male, completely random level, completely random location on your map. Meaning that, if it were to come back as a diamond, it might be kind of hard to find it, because it comes back somewhere completely random. So finding all of your drink zones, yes, is the way to go, but you really don't need to do it for every single species. I would only suggest doing it for species that you really enjoy. And this is a really, really good way, if you're kind of in that process of coming from the beginning player to getting into grinding and things like that, pick a species. I mean, you can even pick a Great One species, like whitetail or black bear or mule deer or something, and just kind of set up a little mini grind to get yourself into it and slowly watch more videos. I have hundreds of them in extreme simplicity like this that teach you how to specifically spawn those great ones, how to herd manage, how to get more diamonds, how to get more super rares. And it's all kind of figurating, I guess, around this respawn system that once you understand, it'll make understanding things like HM and Great One grinding much, much easier. And don't worry about what to shoot, where to leave it if you're doing a little mini grind like that. Just try to find all your drink zones, see if you're getting consistent respawns, which I showed you how to tell earlier. Shoot a male, if there's a new male there, then you're getting respawns. If there's one less male, then you don't have all your drink zones, or at least enough of them. And especially, if you do this with a species like black bear, whitetail, or any of the 11 Great One species in the game, every single time you shoot and claim a male, that's a chance it can come back as a Great One. You don't need to understand the respawn system to get a Great One. My dad, for example, 40-something years old, didn't even find all of his drink zones for his moose. He simply just went to random lakes and shot bulls. 200 and something kills later, it took him a month or two, but he did take a very, very long break from the game. He spawned a 2-tone spider rack Great One moose, which a lot of people say, including myself, is one of the most challenging grinds in the game. 200 kills, little to no effort. He had probably $500,000 in his in-game Call of the Wild account. You don't need $9 million, you don't need every single DLC in the game to get a Great One. You don't need to herd manage either. It's one of the biggest misconceptions in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Again, we talked about this earlier, animals spawn off of a system called RNG. It's just a matter of how many animals you need to shoot to get those trophies. Things like diamonds obviously are going to spawn a lot more frequently than Great Ones, because the game automatically picks a much higher number the majority of the time for spawning in Great Ones. That's how Great Ones are so rare, it's just how the game works. Things like diamonds. Yes, it's gonna pick a quite high number, just for general shooting and spawning, especially if you're not herd managed, but I mean, everybody's map has trophies on it by default. Not everybody's gonna have a diamond whitetail on their Leighton Lakes map, but a lot of people do. Not everybody's gonna have a diamond mountain lion on their Silver Ridge Peaks, but a lot of people do. I mean right off the bat, without even shooting anything. All you need to do is hunt the species and go to every single location you can possibly find of where they can drink at, or if they don't drink, where they can feed at, as some animals don't have drink zones in this game, and it's just a matter of hunting until you find that trophy that's on your map, which is another really good way to trophy hunt. If you don't want to find all your drink zones and force respawns, simply just pick a species, hunt the crap out of it for a few hours, and if you don't find anything, move on to another species on your map. Move on to more species until eventually you've hunted every species on your map. You will find a trophy, whether it's just a piebald female moose, or whether it's a super rare whitetail. I've found an initial spawn super rare moose before. It wasn't a super rare, it was a super troll, but it was a level 5 piebald. And I've found countless rare females. It's a very, very satisfying thing to do because it gives you almost like a sense of completion, I guess I can say, if that's even a word. And it, you know, gets rid of OCD. Because you know at least the vast majority of the animals that are on your map. And in the process of searching these zones, if you see a male, shoot it. Maybe it'll come back as a diamond and you'll find it a couple weeks later. Maybe a year later. So in conclusion, the respawn system is very, very crucial to understand here in the Hunter Call of the Wild if you want to get good at the game. It's a very, very simple thing to understand. There's just a lot of methods that, you know, people try to squeeze into one video, and herd management, I think, confuses a lot of people, which even things like HM are not that complicated at all. It's just a matter of how you think about it, I guess. But yeah, the respawn system is so freaking important, guys. It's a really, really fun thing to mess with, too. I mean, people look at it and they're like, oh, I gotta hunt my whole map. Yes, bro, it's a hunting game. It's not called the Trophy Killer Call of the Wild. It's called the Hunter Call of the Wild. Hunting is challenging. I've never killed, like, a real big trophy whitetail in real life. I've killed a lot of good 8 points. I think my biggest is like 110 inches, which is actually really good for the area that I hunt in, but is it something you'd see in Cabela's? Absolutely not. Is it anything close to something you'd see in Cabela's? Absolutely not. It's so far away, it's insane. It's just an 8 point. I do have several 8 points though, and how I'm going to tie this up here, see Squid's being strategic, is every single harvest I've ever killed in real life is more of a trophy to me than killing a freaking IRL great one. Every single animal that I kill in Call of the Wild, or that I harvest in Call of the Wild, better said, is a trophy to me, and it's beautiful that we have a game that works this well, that simulates hunting this well, and I'm so fortunate that we have this beautiful game in the modern day that's still getting updated, and I hope we have a lot of years to come, not only with just Call of the Wild, but with potentially a new game in the near future, hopefully in the near future as in like a year or two. I don't know, possibly, maybe like a revamp to the game, or just the hunting simulation community in general. I'm so thankful that, you know, these games are still a thing as a huge IRL hunter, and understanding them makes them so much more enjoyable. So as always, I really do hope this video did in fact help you guys out. If it did, please let me know down below by smashing that like button and subscribing, as it is very, very much appreciated. And like I said, my goal by the end of 2026 is 50,000 subscribers. As a 16-year-old content creator, the support is very, very much appreciated, as I am trying to turn this into my full-time occupation. I stream most days at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a great place to ask questions, join the Discord server. There's literally thousands of people in there who'd be more than willing to help you out, right out of the kindness of their own heart. I do have a team of people that are specifically there for helping people out as well. Again, drop any questions you guys have in the comment section below. And without further ado, as always, my name is Squid, you're watching Squidster Outdoors, and we'll catch you guys in the next banger. Peace out, my gamers.